Think on good.
Hello and welcome to Think On Good. Coming up, do you feel lonely or are you experiencing social loneliness? According to a Relationships Australia survey, 1 in 5 Australians said they often feel lonely and 28% said they are experiencing social loneliness. Today we find out how one community group is gaining momentum to connect people across the Sunshine Coast, Australia and even the globe. Think On Good is the place to share inspirational stories and learn about building a healthy mind through community connections, therapy, programs and resources. As loneliness is being reported to be on the increase, we look to one community group offering the benefits of friendship, connection, learning skills and having a little fun at the same time. Growing from the small local drop-ins in the 80s to registering the Australian Men's Shed Association in 2007, this community initiative has become one of the most recognised, reliable and rewarding local group connectors of our time. To find out more, we say hello to Peter Siney, who leads the Maroochy Men's Shed on the Sunshine Coast, Queensland. How did you get involved with Men's Shed?
I lost my wife 7 years ago and somebody came along and said you ought to come along and have a look at the Men's Shed, and that I did, and it was a great thing to have done about probably 5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago now, so you've done a lot in that time. What are some of the things that you've seen at Maroochy Men's Shed in this time?
Yeah, we've done a lot of things. The local government have come along and asked us to do things, birds cages and feral cat cages. Recently 30 tables that they want for a function that's happening down at Mooloolaba. Various things like that. So we do a lot of those things. And there's a lot of people coming in with wanting the leg of a chair fixed or small items that you couldn't get done elsewhere. We've had a few of the rocking horses that they used to have like 100 years ago to 50 years ago that have been restored. And they brought them in here and the guys have done magic jobs with things like that.
Yeah. And what are some of the skills that are being learned?
Not so much learned here. It's not a class situation, but the guys, there are tradesmen there, and when they have projects, they do them. And if some guy is keen to find out a bit more about how and what's done, they can assist. There's probably 30 odd guys involved with the workshop, probably 20 odd guys involved with the administration side of it, and there's about 160 odd members. The rest of them don't do much, but that's the ethos of Men's Sheds. So
they're uniquely different in every area, aren't they, about the people that are actually members? How do you become a member?
I prefer that somebody comes along to a couple of meetings beforehand to check it out and see what they think of it and then consider an application. The guys here, if I'm not about, they'll just give them an application form and say fill that out. So there are various ways about it, I guess. But a lot of the guys have come here because their wife has said, why don't you go to the Men's Shed and just get away from under my feet for a while? So that's how we get a lot of them. We have a sign up here which says husband minding, $5 a week. That's probably pretty accurate in some instances, yes.
It's pretty straightforward, isn't it? When you're looking at things like IT and sharing information every week, how does that help? Like when you're looking out for, say, for instance, scams or how to operate a computer, are they the sort of things that happen at Maroochy Men's Shed?
They are. In fact, Neil, that you saw earlier, he's one of the IT guys, and without him I would be lost. I wouldn't be on here now, actually, if it wasn't for Neil. But yeah, it's really good to have guys like that, and we've got them doing a guest speaking role for us on this coming Tuesday, which is to do with the AI, and they've helped us out with a lot of stuff with the computers. But with AI, that's something that we are just blown away with the advances that are being made. And Neil and one of the other guys, Gary, will be doing a half hour, 40-minute talk on what AI is actually doing, and that'll lift our views on things as well, I imagine.
That's great. And you also have a singing competition going on from time to time, and in particular in Queensland. How does this work? It's a songwriting competition as well as a singing?
It is actually a songwriting competition. Just one of our members here is involved in one of the barbershop quartets around the town here up in Buderim. And he's into the music a bit, and he was one of those involved in the singing group. last year when Coolum ran their singing song fest. Our guys, about 11 of them, I think that there were, participated in that. But Merv, one of the guys from here, thought it would be good if we could have some of them compose their own songs. So he threw it out there and called for applications.
A little bit more behind the scenes. When we have things like disaster events, how does the Men's Shed group get together and support each other?
After the event, we're spread from Caloundra to Coolum, which is a pretty vast area. And most of the guys from Maroochy or Bly areas closer by, but the guys are spread that far and wide, so it may not necessarily affect all of the guys at the one time. We've not had anything like that with the shed itself. We've had a couple of storms and things like that since we've been in this premises, about 21, I think we came in December 21, with COVID when that started. And one of the guys who's now 94, but he lives for the shed, and he burst into tears and said when we were told that we cannot meet anymore, that he said, well, I've got to have the company, I've got to be able to see you guys. So we picked an area in a park where half a dozen guys would go down there, take a kettle and their thermoses or whatever. And it started off with 5, and then as they enabled us to have more people meeting, we finished up with 20 or 30 blokes down there. We said, well, we can go back into the shed again. But that was very, very important to one of those old guys that reckoned he couldn't get by a week without seeing the guys from the shed.
What would you just say to other men who have retired or are looking at retirement or simply living by themselves? What would you say to them about Men's Shed and how it helps with loneliness?
Yeah, well, just to go and find out, go online, find out what shed may be near you. None of the two you wouldn't get two that would be the same. They would all vary, so you may go to one and not necessarily like it, well then go and check out at another. But you will find that the camaraderie that is shown from men's sheds is great. You may have a couple of grumpy old blokes in each shed, and if that's the first person that you talk to, probably not a good impression. But I have found it fantastic here. There's probably half a dozen guys that are real personalities that stir things up and make things happen, and but without them it just wouldn't be the same. But yeah, I love it for the blokes that are in it.
And can you give an example of a life-saving scenario that's happened in Men's Shed? Like sharing health information, say, for instance? Yeah,
there's an organisation called It's a Blokes Thing, and they deal specifically with prostate problems and prostate cancer, etc. And we've had a guest speaker from there, Ruth Logan, who has been here 3 times over the nearly 4 years I've been president. And she is such a delight, handles it well. But she came along at one time and she was so insistent that you guys should know your PSA. Do you know your PSA? And about 4 hands went up. So she said, you should have that checked out. And a couple of the guys did go and do just that. One of them had a lot of resistance from his doctor, said, oh, you don't need that. No, don't worry about that. But he insisted, and in fact, the PSA was not good. So they did further tests, and it was a life-saving situation because he then had surgery done and came out okay. And he attributes his life now to that particular day when this woman said, you guys have got to have your PSA checked. So, and there was another one at a later time as well, had the same scenario.
So it helps to share some information, doesn't it? It helps to have the weekly chat, but it's for friendships and mateships, but it's also good for helping with information about health.
Health is a big thing. They do say men's sheds are for the purpose of men's health. That's the ethos of the whole thing. So whether it's a combination of medical things that you're finding out, or the guest speakers that we have, predominantly to do with health, whether it's a doctor coming along talking about looking after your skin better, or whether it's somebody coming along speaking about dental, or But yeah, predominantly, I guess, speakers are along those lines. But we do have others to do with the tech, and I try to get a few either sporting or celebrity entertaining people coming in now and again just to break it up a little bit. But it is prominently health. That's the most important thing of the whole thing, and even just conversation with the other blokes is a big thing towards health. Yeah, mental health. Yeah.
That's very important. And thank you for sharing all of that information with us today. It encourages others to get along and check out Men's Shed.
Yes, there is a Queensland Men's Shed Association of which we're a member, and also the Australian Men's Shed Association, of which we have less to do with, but we do work in very well with the Queensland Men's Shed Association. So even to flick onto there to find out, they would have probably all the clubs that are members, to find out what might be near them, to go and check it out. And I advise that they should.
Briefly, before you go, what's your favourite quote or saying?
It's funny you say that, because when I started as president, I used to sign everything off with "keep on smiling," but in more recent times I've had to add a bit to that, so I generally finish off, whether it's on the bottom of a report or correspondence of some time, with "for Pete's sake, share the load, but keep on smiling." So that's my tagline, I guess, and maybe remembered for that guys will try and share it around a bit more, rather than the same guys doing all the work, and also keep on smiling. And we do tell a lot of jokes here and have a lot of fun in that way, which is also great for the mental health.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Peter, thanks for joining us today.
It's been my pleasure.
Australian Men's Shed Association began in 2007 and is a registered charity, growing with more than 1,000 sheds all over Australia and including one in Maroochy, Sunshine Coast, Queensland. Each shed reflects the unique skills and abilities that the local men bring to their group. Some of the group projects to get involved with include woodwork, repairs, IT and singing, or simply a weekly chat. Go to the national website to find the links to the Shed wireless podcasts about success stories with JPY. Research from the Beyond Blue 2013 report on the men's sheds in Australia, effects on physical health and mental well-being, provides an overview of the many benefits to being a shedder, a place to discuss health issues including mental health symptoms without stigma or judgment, as well as building general well-being through connection. Single or retired men get to share and learn new skills, give back to the community and meet new friends. It's easy to join. Go to the website of Maroochy Men's Shed or the Queensland website or the National Men's Shed's website to find a shed local to you. All men are welcome to register membership. There are some sheds that hold a group for women, however this depends on the location. The national website is mensshed.org. There are many free events in your local communities. Some additional resources to get connected can be found at your local libraries and council. Listen in to community radio for local free events and for the young men Lads Connect on Instagram. Think on Good is a program offering information for mind health and is not intended to replace medical treatment, professional advice or diagnosis. If you or someone you know is experiencing mental health symptoms, for immediate support, contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. Think on Good is brought to you with thanks to our sponsors and contributors. Until next time, we hope you find the right connections and think on good.